Good morning, everyone. And I would like to congratulate and thank you, my dear friend Nada and Shima, wonderful ladies, power ladies of Egypt, for pulling out such an incredible program. And I guess this is one of the largest women endoscopy conference of this year in gastroenterology, because we tend to see women program intermingled or a part of it in a larger conference. But this 2 days will solely be dedicated to the women of gastroenterology, and this is important in order to have a sustainable future. So the title talk was given to me, Ergonomics in Endoscopy, Does Gender Matter? This is the place where I work, Liaquat National Hospital. I don't have any conflict of interest to declare. So what do you mean by ergonomics? Let's start. So ergonomics, the word derived from the Greek word ergon, meaning work, and nomos, meaning natural law. And this is not something new. It dates back in 400 BC, ancient Greek civilization. They used to consider ergonomic principle in the designing of tool, jobs, and workplaces. And then they designed few seats and chairs and hand tools for the body in order to have a more efficient workplace and to reduce the muscle and the tendon and pressure. So, and especially it was designed initially for surgeons, and then it spilled over into gastroenterology as well, basically. And then there are again various books and case reports dating back in 1700s. So the concept of ergonomic is very old, basically. So how do you define ergonomics and endoscopy? What's latest? So according to ASGE, broadly defined as study of endoscopist interactions with elements of the work environment, including the endoscopy and endoscopy unit, redesigning these to minimize the risk of endoscopy-related injury, optimize endoscopist well-being, and maximize overall systemic performance. So this is the definition. So if you look at the prevalence of endoscopy-related injuries, it was a survey done on more than 2,000 endoscopists. And if you see that more than half of the endoscopists had some sort of endoscopic-related injury. Major ones are back, neck, hand, and finger. And almost in 20 to 60% of the patients, some sort of intervention was required. So that means it was not self-limiting. So what are the mechanisms of endoscopy-related injuries, basically? Because our movements are repetitive and we do many procedures, because it's short procedures, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and we do hundreds of procedures in 1 year, basically, especially those who are working in high volume center. So we need to talk, and it's a repetitive movements. We need to talk, we need to use our fingers continuously. So we get all sorts of carpal tunnel syndrome, overuse syndromes of elbow and wrist, Dew-Craven syndromes, and undue stress on the back and the neck and the legs. And plus those who are doing ERCPs, there are extra load of lead apron on the neck and on the body. So this adds again a high incidence of back and neck pain. So stages of work-related musculoskeletal injuries, if it's early stage, there's no reduction of work performance, and if you take a day off over the weekend, it gets settled and you are good to go on Monday, basically, morning. Then the intermediate is that if there is reduced capacity of repetitive work, there is aching and tiredness that occur in the work shift and persist at night, basically. And late stages is inability to sleep and to perform light duties, and there's persist even after rest. So we need to work in a neutral position. So what's the neutral position, or not what's a neutral posture? Simply refers to the resting position of each joint where there is least tension on the nerves, muscles, and the tendons and bone. And when we work in awkward posture, then basically the incidence and the prevalence of injury increases. And it is directly related with the number of procedures that you are doing and the time period that you are doing these procedures. On an average, the gastroenterology, we work at least 30 years for endoscopy. So the more years are gone, the higher chance of injury. And definitely, as the body is also aging, so it's more prone to stress-related injuries, basically. And basically, the healthcare workers report in the injury stage, basically. Usually, for pain, we take painkillers. For discomfort, we do nothing. So the risk factors is high procedure volume, time spent performing endoscopy, cumulative time in practice, endoscopist age. So age is not just a number. No ergonomic education, and awkward posture, high force, static loads, and repeated inappropriate endoscopy suit design. So endoscopy-related injury, this was another study by the ASGE member, and they showed 53% were related to endoscopy-related. So more than half, 1 out of 2 endoscopists will have, injury some point in time. And again, it was related with the number of procedure and cumulative years of practice. So there are multiple studies that are done. This was a study which was published in Endoscopy. And again, they showed that more than half of the people had some point in time endoscopy-related injury. And severe pain was reported in 20% of the population. So female gender has a disadvantage, and more than 15 years in practice were independently associated with musculoskeletal injury and severe pain. And you can see that these are the x-rays of the people with deformity who have done endoscopy for last many, many years. So now the point is, should the endoscopist be considered and trained like an athlete, basically? Should we do lift weights, dumbbells? Should we do workout every day to improve our muscle strength, stamina? So this was a very interesting article, basically published a few years ago. So this was my article which was published in Clinical Endoscopy, and we compare it, the endoscopist with non-endoscopists, the physicians who are not doing any procedures. And we saw that in patients, endoscopists, basically, the back pain and the leg pain were more, and the wrist pain because of the repeated movements. And basically, endoscopists had higher chance of musculoskeletal related injuries as compared to non-endoscopists. And those endoscopists who were obese or overweight had a higher chance of musculoskeletal related injuries, basically. And in contrast to previous studies, endoscopists performing more than 20 procedures per week had more injuries as compared to those performing less than 20 procedures per week. So now the question arises, does gender really matters? We know that endoscopists are prone. Are female more or less prone to injury? So we are same, at the same time we are different because of various biological means. We have different chromosome, we have different concentration of hormones in our body, we have different stress-related susceptibility to illness and drug sensitivities, and we have different biological function. So one size does not fit all. If you look at the major endoscopic making organization, they make standard size endoscopy. And basically we are all different, male and female are different. And if you start from USA and you come to Far East, USA, the hands are larger size, and if you come to Far East, those people are small. So the endoscopy should be geared to individual acceptability. So Asians are normally smaller built. Women have glove size less than normally 6.5, and women disadvantaged needed foot pedal. Female gender is independently associated with musculoskeletal injury. Woman grip strength is 59%, and finger pinch strength force is 70 to 73% of the men. So that means the woman needs to apply more force because the grip strength is less. So they need to apply more force during talking, during movement of the wheels, which in turn leads to more injury. So what about the impact of domestic responsibility? We need to understand that woman has small children. When they go home, they have other responsibility as well, especially in countries where domestic help is not readily available. So it was a very interesting study, and they what did was that those women who has more than or less than more than 5 tasks at the domestic level, and what they saw was their desire to switch to less demanding career or specialty was high in procedure related field. So those doctors who were doing procedure, they had a desire that they switch to a non-procedure related specialty at some point in time because of their burnout, because of their extra responsibility at home. So endoscopic related, women versus men, again this is another study which showed that which was done by online survey, and then women are more likely to experience, to men 43% versus 23%. And then in ASG latest guideline, they have included that yes, female endoscopists are at a higher risk of endoscopic related injury compared with male endoscopists. So now interestingly, we know that we are more at a disadvantaged level. The pattern of injury, interestingly, is also different basically. When we talk about males, it's basically the lower back and the knee is more effective. When we talk about female, it's basically the neck, the upper back, and the hands and the fingers are more effective. So women are affected more on the upper part of the body, and the male are probably in the lower part of the body. And that is because the endoscopy screen is set at a certain level. Women height are usually smaller, so they need to extend their neck. So neck injury is common. They need to apply more force, so hand injury is more common. Men are taller, often they need to bend. So the back injury is more common, lower back injury, and knee injury is more common in men. So again, another study which showed that yes, the upper body is more affected in women and lower body is more affected in men. So this is another important study which showed that female endoscopists' peak left thumb force was 2 to 3 times the force applied by male endoscopists during left and right-sided colonic insertion. And during insertion and withdrawal, female endoscopists spend 10 to 25% more time in forceful pinch compared with the male endoscopist. So we have various supporting devices that can be used, but I've not seen being used anywhere, but it's there on the net that you can attach so that there is lesser reduced stress and tension on the muscles basically. So controller size matters basically. Again, the smaller glove size has a disadvantage in basically endoscopy and colonoscopy as compared to larger size, because smaller hand size reported more fatigue. And it's more in endoscopy, but they did not show any difference in bronchoscopies. So what about pregnancy? Again, it's a biological phenomena. And women and men report equal high rates of, in this study, endoscopic related injury. But yes, approximately 79% of women reported new onset injury related to pregnancy basically. And areas affected by injury and mechanism driving differ between men and women. Again, work-life conflict balance and health effects on gastroenterologists. It was a very nice Korean study done on 222 gastroenterologists, and mostly were men, and women had a higher total pain score compared to men in all age groups. And work-life ratio was significantly correlated with musculoskeletal, gastrointestinal, and mental symptoms. So it's not just endoscopy, it's burnout, it's the entire body. And almost 2/3 of the gastroenterologists or endoscopists respondents demonstrated burnout in this study. So role of ergonomics for the prevention of endoscopic related injury. Should ergonomics education be implemented? And then they did a study in US. And there were physical therapists assessed ergonomic position and posturing during endoscopy procedure of the endoscopist. 22 pain sites were identified and individualized wellness plan was given based on assessment. And then they identified and they corrected the posture of their fellows during their study basically. And you can see in the picture that before how it was the doctor was bending and then they corrected and the posture was straight. So in those performing GI endoscopies, should ergonomics education be implemented to reduce the risk of endoscopic related injury, because you have to take this career for next 30 years. And the ASG recommends ergonomic education to reduce the risk of injury. And now in US and all developing country, it's part of the curriculum, it's part of the training cycle. So we need to consider formal ergonomic evaluation, involve all staff, nurses, techs, and fellowship curriculum. It should be part of the fellowship curriculum. Knowledge and needs for prevention of endoscopic related injury. They need to have a mandatory training, know-how, ergonomic optimization tools, availability of dial extenders, like people who have smaller hands, 6, 6.5, 5.5, they can attach those extenders basically. Availability of pediatric colonoscope, availability of well-fitted lead aprons, and trainers' ergonomic training. So
Professor
this should be the
Dokna,
idea.
We are short of time, sorry.
Okay.
We
Okay,
are
just
short.
give me a couple of minutes.
Oh.
So this is the ideal. I would not go into the detail. It is there in the your work screen should be at the eye level. These are all the additional gadgets that can be used. The lead apron should be ideally in 2 pieces. There has to be gel pads, and this should be the ideal position, the person standing straight. So the ASG recommends a neutral monitor position during endoscopy. It also recommends a neutral bed height to reduce the injury. Use of anti-fatigue mats and micro breaks are very important during the procedure for the stretching. These are the future approaches basically, and the robotic system or the self-propelling colonoscope. So this is the hierarchy basically. You need to have a proper design endoscopy suite. You need to have extra devices. You need to be fit, need to take care of yourself, take mini breaks, stretches, and maintain a healthy work-life balance. So equity over equality. So we are talking about equity these days. So take-home message: risk of injury is real, high prevalence survey-based study. Recognition of the potential for injuries is an extremely important step towards the preventive strategies. For gastroenterologists who hopes to practice for 30 years or more, understanding and prevention of injury is very important. Well-informed ergonomic practices should be integrated into teaching of endoscopy during fellowship. Thank you for your attention.